Suga was missing from BTS's reunion. But why? Jungkook's accomplishments were stolen. V and singer IU were reportedly seen having dinner together. And is Jin's solo album being sabotaged? Stay tuned to find out the truth behind these stories. Suga was missing from BTS's reunion. During a recent livestream meant to celebrate the release of his second album, Echo, Jin ended up getting surprise visitors. But these weren't fans. They were his own bandmates, and their sudden appearance turned the calm event into a funny, unexpected online hangout. At first, everything was going as planned. Jin was talking seriously about his new music video, Don't Say You Love Me, which he had filmed in Singapore. He was explaining details from the video, clearly focused. That's when J-Hope quietly joined the chat, trying to get Jin's attention. But Jin didn't notice at first. Soon after, Jimin showed up too. Once Jin saw Jimin's name, he smiled and started reacting. The mood shifted as the members began leaving cheerful personal messages. What had started as a solo moment became something a lot more exciting. Then V and Jungkook entered the chat, and that's when things really got out of control. Instead of just sending messages to support Jin, the two began talking to each other like it was a private chat. They asked each other about their daily lives, shared personal updates, and filled the chat box with casual talk. Fans watching the live stream couldn't believe what they were seeing. Jin looked both entertained and slightly overwhelmed as the chat turned into a lively, chaotic group conversation. All four members, Jin, J-Hope, Jimin, and Jungkook, are still in the middle of their military service, which is required by law in South Korea. But their time is almost up. Jin said during the stream that they had all been promoted to higher ranks and would soon return to regular life. He sounded very excited as he said that all 7 BTS members would be together again soon, once everyone finishes their service. Jin also mentioned that RM and Suga, who didn't join the livestream chat, had sent him personal messages to say congratulations on the album. Even though they weren't publicly present, their support didn't go unnoticed. The group didn't stop having fun. At one point, they started trying to guess song titles based on Jin's drawings. They laughed a lot as they made their guesses. Jin also showed off some impressive tech used for the Echo album, giving fans a look into how the project came together. As the livestream went on, the others kept complimenting Jin, saying he looked really good and letting him know how proud they were of him. The longer the stream lasted, the more it felt like a casual chat between close friends instead of a formal event. Toward the end, Jin finally typed in the comments himself, not to join the fun, but to playfully ask the others to stop so he could actually finish what he was doing. Even though the live stream didn't go the way he originally planned, it ended up showing fans something even more special: the strong friendship between the BTS members, which has stayed just as close, even while they've been apart during their military service. V and singer IU were reportedly seen having dinner together. On May 15th, a photo began circulating across online forums and social media platforms in South Korea, showing BTS member V seated at a table in what appeared to be a high-end restaurant in Seoul. The image, taken by someone who claimed to have been at the same venue, sparked immediate attention, not only because of V's presence, but also because of who he was reportedly dining with. According to the person who posted the photo, the restaurant was Mosu, a luxury dining spot in Seoul known for its fine cuisine and exclusivity. The eyewitness described being completely stunned upon seeing V in person, noting that despite never being a BTS fan, they were left speechless by his appearance. They added that although they had never cared about celebrities before, seeing V was different, and they managed to snap a photo. In the image, V is shown sitting across from a woman wearing a flannel shirt and a wide-brimmed hat. This detail immediately drew attention from fans, who pointed out that the flannel shirt closely resembled one that singer IU has been seen wearing multiple times. Based on this and other subtle clues, speculation grew quickly that the woman in the photo was indeed IU. The timing of the sighting also raised curiosity. IU's birthday is on May 16th, just one day after the photo was taken. This led many to wonder if the meal had been a private birthday celebration between the two. Though no official statement was made by either artist or their agencies, the overlap in dates and past history between the two fueled even more conversation. The connection between IU and V isn't new. Earlier this year, in January 2024, V starred in IU's music video, Love Wins All, where he played the male lead. Months later, in September, he was seen attending her encore concert in Seoul, further reinforcing the idea that the two artists maintain a friendly and supportive relationship. The general consensus among fan communities is that the two stars are simply close friends who have worked together and continue to support each other professionally and personally. No official comments have been released by V's agency, Big Hit Music, or IU's agency, EDAM Entertainment, regarding the dinner or the circulating photo. However, the event has once again highlighted how even a single moment caught in public can quickly ignite speculation in the world of celebrity culture, especially when it involves high-profile figures like V and IU. The stereotype about BTS fans is wrong. J-Hope recently announced special encore concerts for his solo world tour Hope on the Stage in Seoul, and tickets vanished almost instantly. But what shocked people more than the speed of the sellout was who got the tickets. Once the numbers came in, fans and media alike noticed a surprising pattern. Women made up a massive 93.4% of ticket buyers, while men accounted for only 6.6%. That wasn't all. The data revealed something that completely shattered a common stereotype. Most of these fans weren't teens. They were adults, many in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and even 50s. The internet lit up with fans proudly sharing that they too were part of this older crowd. Some said they were longtime followers who had grown up with BTS. Others mentioned that at their mostly female workplaces, co-workers in their 40s and 50s never missed a BTS show. A few pointed out the obvious. BTS has been around for 12 years. Its members are now in their 30s, so of course their fans aged with them. This fan profile is a far cry from the outdated image of the screaming teenage girl, often tied to boy band fandoms. In fact, many fans said the age range now, mainly 20s through 40s, showed how deeply BTS has connected with people over time. Some even called it the perfect ratio. But this quiet truth about BTS's audience directly clashes with a moment that once caused a firestorm online. In the past, James Corden, host of The Late Late Show, made a joke during his monologue about BTS's speech at the United Nations General Assembly. He said it was a historic moment, joking that it was the first time that 15-year-old girls everywhere found themselves wishing they were Secretary General Antonio Guterres. He was trying to be funny, but the reaction was anything but. Even though Corden had invited BTS onto his show several times and had been affectionately nicknamed Papa Mochi by fans due to his bond with Jimin, ARMY wasn't amused. The backlash was fast and intense. Fans accused him of using BTS for popularity while belittling their supporters. They said mocking young girls for their interests wasn't just lazy, it was offensive. One fan referenced BTS's hit Fake Love, saying Corden was no longer Papa Mochi. Another, a teenage girl, defended her right to enjoy music without being mocked, saying that her age and gender didn't make her opinions or interests less valuable. Social media filled with memes, including ones featuring John Cena, the 44-year-old wrestling star who openly supports BTS. Fans pointed to him as living proof that ARMY is far more diverse than outsiders think. The reality now is hard to ignore. J-Hope's concert ticket stats prove that BTS's fan base has matured, both in age and in reach. The old assumptions, that their popularity is carried by a crowd of young, emotional teenage girls, simply don't hold up. This is a fan base that's been loyal for over a decade, growing older with the band, holding on to the same passion. And if anything, that passion only seems to grow stronger with time. Jungkook's accomplishments were stolen. On May 13th, Spotify quietly made a change to Blackpink Rose's artist description, but fans around the world definitely noticed. What started as a small edit on her profile quickly blew up into a much bigger problem, sparking outrage across social media and stirring up debates about fairness, accuracy, and respect for K-pop's biggest stars. At the center of the controversy was one line. Spotify had described Rosie, Rose's solo debut album, as the most streamed solo release by a K-pop artist, with more than 33 million streams. But fans didn't let that slide. Many were quick to point out that this wasn't true. BTS's Jungkook had already broken that record months earlier. His debut album, Golden, had over 42.75 million streams on its first day alone, nearly 10 million more than Rose's total at the time mentioned. Fans of both artists began asking why Spotify would publish something so inaccurate. The numbers were public and easy to find, so how did this happen? After fans started talking about it online, Spotify appeared to take action. The line was quietly removed from Rose's profile and the description was edited, but for a lot of people, that silent correction wasn't good enough. Many fans felt it wasn't just a small error, it was misleading and unfair to Jungkook, whose record-breaking success was being overlooked. Social media filled with angry responses. Some fans said it made no sense to thank Spotify for fixing a mistake they never should have made. Others argued that spreading false information, even briefly, could hurt the credibility of the artists involved and make the platform look untrustworthy. There were those who said the whole thing was embarrassing and wondered how a company as big as Spotify could miss something so obvious. Some fans believed Spotify owed Jungkook a direct apology. They said what happened was disrespectful and unfair, especially since the facts were so clear. Others felt frustrated that they were now the ones having to explain the truth, when the platform should have gotten it right from the start. People also questioned whether the team managing artist bios at Spotify took enough care with their work, especially when dealing with global stars with huge fan bases. What really bothered many fans was how Spotify handled the correction. Instead of releasing a public statement or taking responsibility, they simply changed the description and moved on. Fans said that wasn't enough. They wanted the platform to own up to the mistake, not just hide it. This controversy comes on the heels of another incident that had already shaken fans' trust in Spotify, the sudden deletion of millions of streams from BTS Jimin's solo song Who. In that case, over 50 million streams vanished in a single day, and around 175 million disappeared overall without a clear explanation from the platform. The lack of transparency surrounding that situation had already sparked frustration among ARMY and raised serious questions about how Spotify tracks and manages artist data. For many, the inaccurate claim on Rose's profile felt like another sign that the platform wasn't handling K-pop artists' achievements with the care and accuracy they deserve. So far, Spotify hasn't made a public apology. Fans are still waiting, not just for an edit, but for a statement that takes responsibility and gives both Rose and Jungkook the fair treatment they deserve. Is Jin's solo album being sabotaged? On May 14th, fans of BTS member Jin found themselves in a wave of frustration and disbelief when unexpected news hit their inboxes. Just days before his solo single, Don't Say You Love Me, was supposed to drop, fans in the United Kingdom who had pre-ordered the physical CD got a message they weren't expecting. Their orders, originally scheduled to arrive with the global release on May 16th, wouldn't be coming until May 23rd, a full week later. The official email blamed the delay on unforeseen supply chain disruptions and included a short apology. But the message didn't calm anyone down. Instead, it lit a firestorm across social media. What started as frustration over a delay turned into full-blown outrage aimed at HYBE, Big Hit Music, and Geffen Records, the companies responsible for handling Jin's release. Fans quickly began to question whether this was really just a shipping issue. Many didn't believe the excuse, saying it was part of a pattern of careless behavior, or something more intentional. Some users claimed that the labels had failed to properly support Jin's solo career, and pointed out that problems like these always seem to happen to him, not other BTS members. One fan said the companies had more than enough time to prepare and that fans had been messaging them for weeks. They said it felt like no one was listening, and that offering pre-orders while failing to deliver them on time made no sense. Another fan accused the companies of being lazy, suggesting they were happy to take people's money without putting in the effort to do their jobs. Others connected the dots back to previous issues Jin had faced. Fans remembered that Jin's earlier solo songs, like The Astronaut and Happy, also had what they described as weak promotion and sloppy management. One person believed it was obvious someone inside the company didn't want Jin's projects to succeed. Others asked why these kinds of mistakes only ever seemed to affect Jin, while other solo releases went smoothly. As more fans joined the conversation, the demands became louder and more specific. They wanted HYBE and its partner labels to speak up, take responsibility, and fix the issue before it hurt Jin's upcoming release. Many explained that the first week of an album or single's release is the most important when it comes to charting. Delays during that window, especially when it comes to physical sales, could seriously hurt an artist's performance. Some even asked Jin to step forward and speak out about how his work was being handled. Others called on the companies to stop playing favorites and to give Jin the same level of support they gave to other artists. Fans said they were tired of watching the same mistakes happen over and over again, and they made it clear they wouldn't stay quiet anymore. One detail made things worse. The physical CD of Don't Say You Love Me was already sold out on the BTS UK store and wouldn't be restocked until the second week after release. Fans said this wasn't just a supply issue. They believed it was a serious failure on the company's part to support the album when it mattered most. Several called it a sign of carelessness that was actively holding Jin back. J-Hope was accused of having unfair exclusive access. On May 13th, BTS's J-Hope turned a casual livestream into one of the most talked about moments of the day, all with one unexpected comment about his bandmates Jungkook and V. As fans tuned in on Weverse, J-Hope was answering questions, joking around, and chatting like usual. But when someone asked if he had seen how Jungkook and V looked recently, especially their bodies after military training, his response made fans sit up and pay attention. Laughing, he said they'd already met in private and added, "They've really leveled up, right?" That one sentence immediately exploded across social media. In seconds, fans rushed to talk about it, saying it proved J-Hope had exclusive access to the other members that regular fans didn't. Some jokingly called it Bangtan privilege and said he was casually bragging about something the rest of the world could only imagine. They joked that he didn't need to scroll through updates or wait for photos. He had already seen it all in person. Earlier this month, on May 3rd, that glimpse J-Hope was talking about finally surfaced for the public. Choi Hanjin, a fitness trainer, posted gym photos of Jungkook and V. He praised their dedication and complimented their muscle gain and hard work. The reaction from fans was immediate. They hadn't seen the two in months, and now they were back, and looking more fit than ever. Jungkook is currently doing his service alongside Jimin through South Korea's Companion Soldiers system, which allows close friends or family members to enlist and serve together. V, on the other hand, is in one of the country's most elite military units, the SDT, or Special Duty Team. Fans online couldn't get enough of J-Hope's relaxed tone when talking about them. Many imagined him proudly keeping their secrets, like a big brother who gets to see everything before the rest of the world. Some said it was clear that J-Hope wasn't just updating fans, he was gently flexing the fact that he'd already spent time with both of them, up close and personal. Others pointed out that this moment wasn't just funny. It showed how tight the BTS members still are, even while serving in different places. Fans remembered that the group had lived together for more than a decade, so there's almost nothing they haven't shared. One fan said J-Hope is probably the most trusted among them, especially when it comes to Jungkook and V, and believed he's been there to support them in private moments just like this. Some fans laughed and said they were jealous. They wished they could be the ones seeing the transformations in person. One even said J-Hope was living the dream of every army, while others admitted they felt emotional just hearing how close the members still are. V's backup dancer kept bumping into him, and how V reacted. On May 11th, Spanish dancer and actor Quique Muro Lopez gave fans an unexpected look behind the scenes of BTS member V's music video, Slow Dancing. Through a series of clips posted to his Instagram and a light-hearted interview with host Alex Maz, Lopez shared what it was like to film one of K-pop's most visually stunning videos, including the underwater chaos, some accidental bumps, and a nickname that had everyone laughing. Lopez didn't expect his role to be anything wild. He was cast in a background part, playing what he described as a floating body in an underwater scene. What he didn't know at the time was that the role would mean more than just staying still in the water. It would lead to repeated run-ins with one of the world's most famous singers. He explained that the first shot involved V submerged in water. The next shot was Lopez, playing the body floating nearby. While trying to stay in character and float naturally, he moved his arm slightly, and suddenly felt something hit him. At first, he thought something had hit him in the head. Then he realized he had accidentally bumped into V. He admitted it wasn't a one-time accident either. Even with several other dancers in the water, he kept drifting back toward the BTS member during takes. But instead of getting annoyed, V just smiled and laughed, always staying kind and easygoing. Lopez also said he hadn't been told ahead of time that he'd be dancing underwater, or that he'd have to do it while pretending to be completely limp. He found it strange, but also amusing. The kind of unexpected challenge that makes a shoot unforgettable. Though it was physically tricky to float and move, it's what sparked his moments of interaction with V. Slow Dancing was released on September 8, 2023, and quickly became a hit. its calm, romantic mood and dreamy visuals helped it stand out as a major highlight in V's solo career. The music video featured several dancers and actors in natural settings like a beach and underwater scenes, creating a surreal and peaceful feeling that matched the track's tone. Lopez was one of those background performers, and his experience filming it left a lasting impression. After the video's release, Lopez posted a thank you message on Instagram. In it, he showed appreciation for V, not just as an artist, but as a colleague. He shared that the singer had been extremely thoughtful on set, especially during the underwater scenes where safety and coordination were key. According to Lopez, V made sure every dancer was doing okay and helped create a comfortable environment for everyone involved. He added a bit of humor to his post by saying LOL when mentioning the underwater moment, but his message was full of gratitude and admiration. During the interview with Alex Mass, Lopez also shared one of the funniest moments from the shoot, how his name became a running joke. When he introduced himself as Queek, V immediately thought of the Korean word gigi, which means machine. The similar pronunciation caught V off guard, and he found it hilarious. From that point on, V kept calling him Gigi on set, laughing every time. What started as a language mix-up turned into an ongoing inside joke between them, adding a touch of humor to the long filming hours. Even though Lopez's role was small, he said it meant a lot to be part of such a major production. He came away with a deeper respect for V, not just for his talent, but for how he treats everyone on set, no matter their role. The way V welcomed him, looked out for the dancers, and kept the mood light, even while filming underwater, left a strong impression. BTS unexpectedly surfaced in a US courtroom. BTS has topped charts, sold out stadiums, spoken at the United Nations, and now, somehow, their name has surfaced in one of the most high-profile criminal trials in the US. In a courtroom completely unrelated to K-pop, during the ongoing trial of hip-hop mogul Sean P. Diddy Combs, BTS was unexpectedly mentioned, catching fans and followers off guard. The trial, currently underway in the US, involves serious federal charges against P. Diddy. It's one of the biggest legal scandals in the music world, pulling in headlines and attention from around the globe. But no one expected the world's biggest K-pop group to make an appearance, even just by name, inside that courtroom. The unexpected mention came to light through Stephanie Soo, a well-known true crime content creator and host of the viral podcast Rotten Mangoes. Soo, who has millions of subscribers across platforms like YouTube and TikTok, attended the trial in person and later posted a nearly 2-hour breakdown of her experience online on May 11. While discussing the jury selection process, she described how potential jurors were being questioned about their interests, including music preferences, to determine any possible bias. Since the case involves a famous music figure, knowing a juror's musical taste might matter. And that's when BTS entered the courtroom. Soo recalled that one woman, when asked about her favorite music, said she liked rock and hip-hop, but then casually added that she was currently watching a BTS concert. The moment stood out to Soo not just because it seemed unrelated to the case, but because of how naturally BTS appeared in a completely unexpected setting. What makes this moment so striking is that neither P. Diddy nor his legal team brought up BTS. The mention didn't come from any evidence, lawyer, or accusation. It was simply one juror, during an official court process, revealing that she was engaged with BTS content in her personal time. Still, it was enough to raise eyebrows. Soo explained that in jury selection, it's common to dig into someone's views, habits, or interests to decide if they can be fair in the case. In this case, because the defendant is a well-known music industry figure, jurors' listening habits might matter, especially if they're emotionally attached to certain artists or genres. That's why a casual mention of BTS matters. Even though it had nothing to do with the case itself, it showed just how deep BTS's cultural impact runs, all the way into a US federal courtroom during one of the most explosive trials in music history. With no cameras allowed inside and very limited media access, fans are relying on first-hand accounts like Stephanie Soo's to get glimpses into what's happening. Her report gave ARMY a rare view of how even something as distant as a courtroom thousands of miles from Seoul isn't completely untouched by BTS's global presence. BTS wasn't in court, they aren't connected to the trial in any way, but their name still found its way into the conversation.